Welcome back, focused learners. Today we're diving right into a seriously mind-bending explainer on Gautam Pal's Septenary Quantum-Cosmological Field Theory, or SQCFT for short. If you've ever found yourself wondering about the hidden mathematical architecture of our universe, well, you are in for a treat because this is an incredibly fascinating framework to explore. Let's get right into it.
So think about the usual story we're told about how everything began. We almost always picture the Big Bang as this chaotic, high-entropy explosion, right? Just an unimaginable, random outward blast of heat and matter. But this paper poses a profoundly different question. What if, instead of absolute chaos, the universe actually began with perfect mathematical stillness? What if it's not just a random scattering of cosmic debris, but a highly structured, geometrically constrained system governed by incredibly strict mathematical laws? It's a completely different paradigm for understanding existence itself.
Section 1. Beyond Chaotic Singularities.
Section 2. The Primordial Stillness.
Okay, let's wind the clock all the way back. I'm talking way back, before space and time were even in motion. We enter what's called the pre-manifest state, and here we encounter a term, a spendana. Now, I know that might sound a bit intimidating, but it simply means an absolute state of rest. Mathematically speaking, it's defined by a frequency of exactly 0. But here's the catch. This isn't just some empty, boring void. Instead, you've got to imagine it as infinite potential energy density. It's like the ultimate tightly coiled spring containing literally everything that ever will be, just waiting there in absolute stillness.
Now you might be wondering, how does this actually translate into our physical world? Well, the paper relies on this really cool concept called the mathematical constant of totality, which is governed by a specific type of transfinite math, dealing with infinite values. Basically, because the universe operates on indivisible totality, a single localized subatomic particle, which the paper calls a duolicana, holds the exact same structural blueprint and latent potential energy density as the entire cosmos. So the micro perfectly mirrors the macro blueprint. It's kind of like a giant cosmic fractal.
And this brings us to a massive revelation that really completely reframes how we should view everyday objects. Matter isn't just inert stuff taking up space. According to this framework, matter is formalized as static intelligence. It's a highly condensed, localized state of potential energy that actually holds the structural blueprint of all universal laws. So before it ever moves or interacts, before any kinetic manifestation happens at all, matter is effectively this condensed intelligence holding the raw instructions for reality.
Section 3. The Cosmic Hourglass.
All right, let's speed things up a bit and move from static potential to kinetic manifestation. What actually happens when this energy takes shape? It forms what's known as the Damaru Energy Model. As you can see, it's a really striking, symmetrical dual-cone shape. Start up at the top cone, which represents the higher cosmic realms, flow your eyes down into that glowing center point, and then fan out into the bottom cone. This isn't just a metaphor. It's a precise mathematical graph of energy expansion and contraction.
Let's break down the whole shebang with these two massive cones. The upper cone, which spans dimensions 14 down to 8, represents cosmic contraction. Think of it as universal laws condensing from unmanifested causal realms into a single, highly compressed focus point. Then, the lower cone expands outward from dimension 7 down to 1. As energy passes through that threshold, it takes on tangible forms. This is literally what creates the physical matter, the biology, and the planetary structures that we interact with every single day.
Section 4. The Seventh Dimensional Gateway.
So, we've looked at the vast top and bottom of the hourglass, but the real magic? That happens right in the middle bottleneck, where these two massive cosmic cones actually meet. The number 7 is the absolute master key here. At the exact coordinate where the dimensional height equals 7, the energy radius contracts entirely to 0. This creates a zero-point field singularity. This localized 7th dimensional point acts as the structural anchor of the entire universe, essentially regulating everything flowing in and out.
Section 5. The Trident of Balance.
Well, how on earth does all that infinitely compressed energy expand into our physical world without just blowing apart chaotically? The answer lies in how the energy splits. At that exact 7th dimensional singularity, the compressed energy splits into a beautifully symmetric system with 3 distinct pillars. Vector A, sitting at 45 degrees, is the physical pillar, governing matter constants. Vector B, pointing straight up at 90 degrees, is the mental pillar. That's the conscious pathway linking matter to higher fields.
And finally, vector c at 135 degrees is the causal pillar, which governs the core blueprint of creation.
And here is the real game changer of this configuration, the principle of zero divergence. Because the physical pillar at 45 degrees and the causal pillar at 135 degrees pull outward in perfectly equal but opposite horizontal directions. Think of it like a perfectly matched cosmic tug-of-war. They completely cancel each other out. This ensures everything is structurally bound together by that central vertical mental pillar. The result? Absolutely no chaotic inflation and no spatial collapse. Just a self-sustaining, perfect mathematical balance.
So what does this all mean for us? According to this framework, cosmic evolution isn't just aimlessly drifting toward high-entropy chaos. It is held in rigorous, brilliant equilibrium. So I'll leave you with this thought. Look around the room you're sitting in right now. Is it possible that every single object, every subatomic particle around you is secretly anchored by a hidden seventh-dimensional zero point? It really completely changes how we view the stability of reality, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, Focus Learners. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.